Cześć pokutu tak i Takrenko. Jak Oscar.
I love you.
This is the Aliens Fireteam Elite Burster alien from NECA. Now this guy is, I believe, one of hundreds of xenomorphs from NECA, but this is my first ever one, and I picked it up purely because I absolutely love the design. Let's take a look at this boy. Here we have it, the Burster alien, and wow, the first thing that stands out is the green. Absolutely wonderful stuff from NECA. Green kind of permeates throughout this whole figure. They've used translucent green for the most part to cast it, and it looks excellent. You can see these pustules on the head of what I assume is acidic blood, and I think the gimmick of this guy in the game is that you shoot him and he bursts into acid and damages the players. I absolutely love the look of this thing. All xenomorphs can have that complicated look to them, so the biomechanical HR Giga situation, and NECA does not disappoint in that regard. There's detail throughout. We got a bit of a machete tail going on there. Absolutely wonderful. Now for paint, there's sort of a beige accent color used. You can see it on the shoulders here, on the knees, and on the mouth. It's a little much, I think, on parts of it, but it doesn't distract too much. Overall, I think the paint and sculpt are excellent on this guy. Wouldn't expect anything less from NECA. There's a little, maybe a bit of mispaint there, but I mean, the look of this figure is what made me pick it up, and it looks great. Getting a bit closer, it's got a glossy finish that you want on a xenomorph. These things are kind of slimy and glossy, and it really comes off in the paint there. As far as accessories with the Burster alien, what you see is what you get. There are no interchangeable parts or hands or anything like that, but I'm okay with that. I don't really need anything else. Interchangeable hands, I don't really see a point. Maybe an interchangeable head that's like mid-explosion or something, but I don't think this is missing anything necessarily. One feature that I'm pretty sure is present with all NECA aliens is that you can open up the jaw here, and inside is a little mouth, and if you can fish it out, I've got a pair of tweezers here. If you get in there, this actually comes out and is articulated. Very nice feature. I love it. It's so tiny. But I love that we have this, and you can slot it back in easy enough and close up the mouth. Excellent stuff. We'll move on now to articulation, and the Burster is pretty loaded. His head has amazing range. We have joints in the top of the head and the bottom, so he can look all the way up, which is usually how you'll have him pose because he is a quadruped, but he can look all the way down as well, like completely down. Amazing. I absolutely love it. Of course, his head can move side to side. There's no real tilt on, well, maybe a little bit of tilt, but nothing major. His arms go up this much, though like I said, what you really need is the up and down like this. He has just the one joint in the elbow, but pretty decent movement from that. And his wrists have amazing range. Look at that. I will note, while we're looking at articulation, all of the joints are cast in an opaque black plastic, not any clear plastic, which is brittle or a little rubbery at times, which is excellent. For the torso, we have a little bit of movement. Some very good pivoting there, which is great for posing when you have them on all fours. For the legs, pretty good range here. There's nothing impeding this from going back. It goes out a little bit, which is impeded by this piece. We have double jointed knees, and then another joint here. These were a little hard to move at first, but they got there, and they're a little stiff still. Still, that's all the range you need in the leg there. Then we have another joint at the foot, and a little bit of pivot, although I don't want to mess with that too much. The tail has a bendy wire, so you can have some fun with that, and it rotates at the base. So, I mean, if you're getting him on all fours, it really is easy enough to have some fun, experiment with it, have the legs bent at different degrees, have them in different stages of crawling around or pouncing, stuff like that. I had a lot of fun posing this guy and taking pictures of him. As for a size comparison, I've got him standing upright here next to the Alien Big Chap. This is the Anniversary Giga edition, so it's got that green kind of smoky look. And I actually just picked up the Big Chap because I like the Burster so much. And he's great too. As I mentioned before, the Burster is a quadruped, so most of the time he's crawling around on all fours, so I've posed him here next to the Big Chap on all fours.
I love you.
Well, I'm pretty happy with my first xenomorph purchase from NECA. The Burster is absolutely amazing. The power of the design alone got me to pick this up. I really love the look of this. It doesn't stray too far from the original Giga design, but it adds some really cool flourishes and flares. Now obviously NECA didn't design this thing, but they translated it very, very well to action figure form, and it does what you need it to do. The legs are really easy to manipulate and get into the poses you want. You can have lunging poses, crawling, you can have it at different stages of crawling. I had no trouble posing it with just 3 limbs and then, having one of the arms swiping or in the middle of moving. He's so dynamic and he looks so good on the shelf. NECA has done so many of these things, and I don't know if I'm going to go out and get all the ones I've missed now. Pretty happy with this one, and it did inspire me to get the Giga Big Chap. So if you see this guy out and about, I'd recommend picking him up if you're a fan of Alien at all. Or maybe you like some of the other designs. I know NECA has done a few from the Fireteam Elite game. The Spitter looks pretty cool. The Runner Alien is a lot more like the classic Xenomorph design. But for me, this Burster is just amazing. Have you picked this guy up or any of the other Fireteam Elite fellas? Do you have any of the other NECA Xenomorphs? What's your favorite? There are tons out there. Let me know if there are any you particularly recommend. I've seen the Aliens Ultimate Xenomorphs out there, the blue and brown ones. Sound off, let me know. And shoot me a subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Thank you so much for watching.